Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about the single biggest performance enhancer that I have found that everyone knows of, and that is sleep. Now, before you click off and think, that's boring, I've heard this a million times, the amount of people that don't do this properly and that just kind of disregard it and that think they're doing enough, but they really aren't, is so ridiculous. People that are making seven figures, people that are making way over $1 million a year are still not sleeping properly, which is kind of crazy. If this was discovered today, if it was like, if people didn't sleep and then now all of a sudden you realize that you could put yourself into this like hibernation state, or maybe you could take a drug and you get the same effects as you could for sleeping, they would ban it from every sport. That people would be really worried about this because it just completely changes the game and the difference between someone who sleeps properly, someone who doesn't. It's so insane. So first of all, if you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Ben Lister. I help agency owners and service-based business owners to save thousands and thousands of hours by sometimes even doing their outreach for them so that they can work on the business rather than working in the business. So basically, it's almost like baffles me like how many people actually don't do this properly, and they focus on things like, what kind of chair they have, or what kind of workout routine they have, or different things like this. Like if you're buying a faster laptop to improve your productivity, or you are moving to like a carnivore diet so that you can focus more and you can have more energy before you're actually getting 8 hours of sleep and you're doing this properly, I don't even know what to say. You're in like the complete wrong end of the spectrum. This is the simplest and easiest way, probably just double your productivity and make your life as a whole just so much better. It's just simply by sleeping better. Not only is sleep a huge contributor to your levels of testosterone, obviously if you're a guy, which can improve your focus, your mood, your overall well-being, but it also means that your decision making is better. It means that your focus is better. It means that your energy levels are better. It just all round makes you so much more energized and actually ready to compete and take on some cognitive tasks. It's literally the bedrock for any business owner. And if you don't believe me, just go ahead and do it for a week and see how it goes, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So how to actually get better sleep, right? Because it's one thing just saying, just get 8 hours of sleep, but it's a whole nother thing to actually go and do it. And when we're talking about 8 hours of sleep, we mean, probably 8.5 hours of actually being in bed. Probably you want to do that, the 8 hours in one big stretch. You don't want to be waking up in the night and things like that. And there's different ways that you can actually make sure that you are sleeping way better. So the first thing is to sleep in complete darkness. Now, there's different ways to do this, whether you can have, blackout curtains, and you can do this and you can do that, and you can, do all this kind of stuff. But the main thing is to just get an eye mask, because that is the cheapest way to do it. It's the easiest way to do it. There's tons and tons of brands out there for like $20, which is like super comfortable, and it's really simple. It doesn't affect how you sleep at all, and it just means that even if you're sleeping with someone who they want the room to be lighter, or they want the curtains to be open or anything like that, you can just do that anyway. You don't even have to think about it, and it's probably the easiest solution. So like one of the main reasons that people do wake up in the night is because there is some light in the room, even the smallest amount of light, whether this is like if you have your window open and there's like a plane that goes by, like a small flash, or car drives past if you live on a busy street or something. Any light like that is going to cause absolute havoc with your waking up in the night. And then of course you need a routine. If you are not waking up and going to sleep at the same time every single day, then you are just missing out on a whole bunch. The way that the body works is it likes to work in rhythms. Obviously, everyone knows about the circadian rhythm. This is basically when you see daylight and when it goes dark and stuff, your body knows when it is night and day. And if you are constantly waking up at the same time, your body starts to realize that this is the wake up time. So it starts to spike your cortisol levels at a specific time each day. So if you wake up at 6 a.m. every single day for a week, the next day, so the 8th day, your body is going to start to spike those cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, which makes you want to wake up, and you just naturally do wake up. There's been times where I've been working part-time jobs and I've been working at like, 5 a.m. and I'm waking up at 4:30. I was waking up at 4:30 for like 6 days. On the 7th day, I wasn't working, so I could sleep in, but my body woke myself up at 4:30 and I just couldn't go back to sleep simply because my cortisol levels had risen and I was wide awake at 4:30 in the morning, which obviously at the time was terrible, but you can use this idea to know that you can basically just wake up at the same time every day. And this counts for weekends too. If you're waking up at 6 a.m. Monday to Friday, and then on Saturdays and Sundays you wake up at 10 a.m., your body's going to be all out of whack. It's not going to know what's going on. So you really, really do need that schedule. And of course you can deviate from it from like, half an hour here and there, especially on the weekends. But the wake up time especially is super, super important. And then of course you don't want to be eating like 2 hours before you go to sleep. If your body is currently digesting food while you're trying to sleep, it's not going to go well. Believe me, I can't tell you the amount of times that I've had like a snack or a dessert after dinner like an hour before I go to sleep, and I'm lying in bed knowing that I'm not going to be able to sleep now because my body's still digesting this food, and I've realized, and it's a big regret, and it happens quite a lot. Well, not much anymore, to be fair, but this is something that if you're doing this, if you're eating really late, if you're having snacks, if you're having anything with calories, so you know, if this is like a sugary drink or anything like that, it's just something that you're consuming calories and your body's going to digest it, it's really, really not a good idea, and your body's going to be digesting stuff while you're trying to sleep, so it's not really going to sleep. And if it does, the quality of your sleep is going to be terrible. This also counts for alcohol too. So if you are, you know, out somewhere, if you have a drink late or something like that, your body's still going to digest it, and as well the quality of your sleep, just because of alcohol. So if you even have alcohol in the day, in the late afternoon or something, and your body's digested it now, just because it's in your system and it's still there and your body's still dealing with the effects of the alcohol, that's going to also affect the quality of your sleep as well. This comes down to like temperature regulation and a whole bunch of different stuff like that, but it is just a terrible, terrible thing to do before you sleep. And now you might look like an idiot with this one, but it is a game changer, I promise you, and that is nasal strips. Now there's a lot of guys that wear these nasal strips while they're making YouTube videos. I don't know if I'd ever do that, to be honest, but you can definitely do it while you're sleeping. You look like a bit of an idiot. People that don't understand obviously don't know what you're doing. You kind of look a bit strange to them. You have got some kind of operation going on, but the way that it works is that there's like a plastic strip in the nose and it bends it out, and so it's almost like it just like opens. If you can imagine like a suction cup on the outside of your nose and it opens it. If you ever had those chewing gums that have like menthol in them, when you breathe you feel like there's so much air going through your nose. It feels amazing. It's like you've never had a cold before in your life. You have like 2 noses now. It feels incredible. But this is the way that it works, because it opens up those airways and it makes you breathe really good up through your nose. And breathing through your nose is so much better than breathing through your mouth, not only for like a whole bunch of stuff which you might have seen before, like facial structure and all that kind of stuff, but it also helps with your sleep, because the nasal pathway, it helps to prepare the air for the lungs. So if you are breathing through your mouth, you're missing the benefits of that. Now, I don't know the science about it too much, but there's so much data on the people that breathe through their mouth get so much better quality of sleep. They have to stay in deep sleep. They don't get disturbed in the night. But there's people that tape their mouth shut and stuff like that. I don't know if I would do that. Maybe you can try it out. A bit strange, to be honest with you, but it's like the black tape over your mouth. But you can give it a try for sure and see how it works. But to be honest with you, the nasal strips help me just as much. And so this on its own is probably going to help you to keep your mouth shut. And also helps with like snoring and stuff as well. So that's a bit of a benefit too. And I touched on it a bit earlier, but temperature is also one of the most important things. I like to make the room as cool as possible if I can. I don't have like air conditioning or anything like that because I'm here in the UK and it's just not something that we do, and obviously the room's pretty cold normally anyway, but I like to keep the room pretty cool and then keep the bed as warm as possible. This contrast of like having your body warm and your head cool, I don't know what it is, but it's like scientifically proven that this is the best way to sleep. There is tons and tons of mattress topper coolers out there and warmers and different things like that, the way you can actually regulate the temperature in your bed. I'm actually in the process of getting an 8 Sleep. I can't recommend it at the moment because I haven't actually used it, but everyone that uses it says it's incredible and I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be a bit of a game changer. You can have something like this. They are quite expensive, but if you can have something like this is definitely going to improve the quality of your sleep. There is cheaper alternatives. There's ones that like blows air like into the bed and stuff like that, but I haven't done too much research on them. But basically the temperature is so important, not just to help you to go to sleep, but also to keep you in that deep sleep stage. So there's different toppers and different mattresses where they will change the temperature through the night, and they start to register how well you're sleeping and stuff like that, because they can track how much you're sleeping with like your heart rate and things like that. It's pretty advanced tech, to be honest with you, but it works pretty well apparently, and there's a lot of good reviews out there from really big guys like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, so it must be doing something good. And if you want to get like really scientific with it, of course you can get a Whoop band or an Oura Ring or just something to track your sleep. You can use like an Apple Watch, but they don't really work too well. They just kind of track the time. I don't have a new one, to be fair. If you have a new Apple Watch, maybe it does it, but I know that the Oura Ring and the Whoop band is like especially designed for like these kind of things. The Oura Ring especially is just for sleep, so these things are going to get really scientific. What you can do is actually start to see, for example, if you take like magnesium before you go to sleep, which some people say helps them, it will show you what percentage that actually affects you. If it improves the average person's sleep by 2%, but you have like a 5% increase when you take magnesium, it will let you know that. So obviously you can make sure that you do that, and it's a bit more scientific and it's all like quantifiable, right? You don't have to do that. You can just go off like how you feel. And the thing is, as long as you're getting 8 hours and as long as you're able to just improve your sleep by a little bit, that's going to be just as big a game changer as anything really. So you don't really need to get a tracker because they are kind of expensive, to be honest. So if you are looking to sign more clients on a done for you basis, then go ahead and click the first link in the description. It's not some sign up where you have to give your email and your phone number to get some video. It's literally just an explanation of me talking about how my company does this and what we do. But yeah, you don't have to click it, of course. If you just want to watch the content, then that's completely cool. So if you did enjoy it, then obviously click the like button, comment if you want me to include any topics in my future videos, and subscribe if you want to see more, of course. But yeah, appreciate you watching this one to the end. Cheers.